There was a man named Takeshi who made the same promise every single Monday. This Monday will be different. This Monday I will wake up early, exercise, eat right, work hard, and finally become the person I know I can be. He would write detailed schedules. He would set multiple alarms. He would announce his plans to friends and family. By Wednesday, every promise was broken. By Friday, he had given up completely. This happened for 3 years, 52 Mondays each year, 156 fresh starts, 156 failures. The worst part was not the failure itself. The worst part was what it did to him inside. He stopped trusting his own words. When he said, "I will do this," a voice in his head whispered, "No, you won't." And that voice was always right. Then something happened that changed everything. It was not a dramatic moment. It was not a motivational speech or a life-changing book. It was something so small, so seemingly pointless, that when he told people about it later, they thought he was joking. But 30 days after he started, those same people stopped laughing. They wanted to know his secret. This is the problem with how we think about discipline. We believe it comes from willpower. We believe disciplined people are somehow different from us, that they possess something we lack. So we try to become disciplined through massive effort. We set huge goals. We promise ourselves we will completely change. We rely on motivation to carry us through. And when motivation fades, we collapse. Then we blame ourselves for being weak. But the weakness is not in us. The weakness is in the method. There was a point in my life when I could not finish anything. I would start projects with enthusiasm, then abandon them halfway through. I would promise to build new habits, then break those promises within days. I felt like a fraud. I talked about my goals, but I never followed through. The gap between who I wanted to be and who I actually was kept growing wider. One evening, frustrated and tired, I came across a concept from ancient Japan. It seemed too simple to work, but I had tried everything else and failed. So I decided to try something that felt almost insulting in its simplicity. That decision changed my entire life. The samurai practiced something called Kaizen. In Japanese, Kai means change, and Zen means good. Together, they mean good change or improvement. But the philosophy is more specific than that. Kaizen is the practice of improving by 1% each day. Just 1%. Not 10, not 50. 1. When most people hear this, they feel disappointed. Only 1%? That seems like nothing. How can 1% create real change? This disappointment is exactly why it works. Your brain resists dramatic change. When you announce you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., exercise for 2 hours, and transform your entire life, your brain sees this as a threat. It activates every defense you have. Suddenly you feel exhausted. Suddenly you remember 17 urgent things you need to do first. Suddenly you find 1,000 reasons why today is not the right day to start. This is not laziness. This is biology. Your brain evolved to protect you from danger, and radical change registers as danger. But tiny changes slip past these defenses. When the change is small enough, your brain does not register it as a threat. There is no alarm, no resistance, no internal war. You simply do the small thing, and your brain allows it because it seems harmless. Here's what most people miss about this. Those small, harmless changes accumulate in ways that seem impossible. 1% improvement every day for 1 year makes you 37 times better. Not 30%. 37 times. This is not motivation. This is mathematics. The samurai understood this principle centuries before. We had numbers to prove it. Let me tell you what Takeshi did. The man who broke every promise to himself. He did not promise to wake up at 5 a.m. He did not promise to exercise. He did not promise to meditate, or read, or work harder. He promised himself one thing. Every morning, he would sit up in bed. That was the entire commitment. Not get out of bed, not start his day. Just sit up. It took 3 seconds. Anyone can sit up in bed. There is zero resistance. No willpower required. A child could do it. His friends laughed when he told them, "You are just going to sit up. That is your big plan for building discipline?" Yes, that was his plan. And here is what happened that nobody expected. Day 1. He sat up in bed. Then he lay back down and went to sleep. Day 2. He sat up in bed. This time he noticed he was already sitting up, so he stood up. Then he got back in bed. Day 3. He sat up, stood up, walked to the bathroom, then went back to bed. He never forced these extra steps. He simply kept his one promise: sit up in bed. Everything else happened naturally because the barrier to starting had vanished. By day 7, he was awake. By day 14, he was exercising. By day 30, he was waking at 5 a.m. Not because he forced himself, because the pathway had been built one small step at a time. But something else happened that he did not expect. Something more important than waking up early. For the first time in 3 years, he could trust himself again. Every morning for 30 days, he said he would do something, and then he did it. That evidence built up, day after day. Proof that when he made a promise to himself, he kept it. This changed everything, not just his morning routine, everything. The samurai had a concept called shoshin. In Japanese, sho means beginner, and shin means mind. Together they mean beginner's mind. This concept addresses something crucial about building discipline. Every time you failed before, you carry that failure into your next attempt. You see yourself as someone who lacks discipline. You see yourself as someone who always quits. This identity becomes a cage. Your past predicts your future. Before you even start, you have already lost. Shoshin asks you to let go of that story. What if today you are not the person who failed before? What if you approach this moment with fresh eyes, like a complete beginner who has never tried this before? Each morning is a new start. Yesterday does not define today. The past does not control the present. This is not about pretending. This is about recognizing a simple truth. Who you were yesterday does not have to be who you are today. Takeshi learned this through his practice. When he sat up in bed each morning, he was not the man who had failed 156 times. He was simply a man keeping one small promise. That was all. No history, no baggage, just this moment. And each morning he proved to himself that he could keep that promise. Day after day after day. The evidence accumulated until he could no longer deny it. He was someone who kept commitments. There was a businessman in Kyoto who struggled with procrastination for 20 years. Important projects would sit untouched for months. He knew what needed to be done. He just could not make himself do it. His career suffered. His reputation suffered. He felt ashamed, but helpless. One day, his mentor gave him unusual advice. Every morning, make one promise to yourself that you will absolutely keep. Not 5 promises. 1. And make it so small that keeping it requires almost no effort. He started promising himself that before checking email, he would write 1 sentence on his project. Just 1 sentence. That was the entire commitment. He could write 1 sentence even on his worst day, even when he felt completely unmotivated, even when he wanted to quit. 1 sentence took 30 seconds. Some days, that 1 sentence led to an hour of focused work. Other days, it stayed just 1 sentence. But every single day, he he kept his promise to himself. After 30 days, something unexpected happened. He did not just become more productive. He became someone who keeps commitments. He had 30 days of proof, 30 consecutive days where he said he would do something and then did it. This self-trust transformed everything. When he promised himself he would complete a project, he believed it. When he set a deadline, he met it. Not through willpower, through identity. He had become someone who does what he says. This is the practice of daily renewal. Each morning, you recommit. You do not carry the weight of the full month or the full year. You carry only today. The samurai understood that discipline is not one decision made once. It is the same decision made again and again. You wake up and you choose again. This sounds simple, and it is. That simplicity is the power. Discipline is built through repetition until the action becomes automatic, until it is simply what you do. The morning is the most important time. It sets everything that follows. If you honor your commitment in the morning, the rest of the day flows from that foundation. But you will face obstacles. Some mornings, you will not feel like doing even the smallest action. Your mind will create stories. You are too tired. You are too busy. You can start again tomorrow. This is where most people break. They see resistance as a sign that something is wrong, that they should wait for a better day. But the samurai saw resistance differently. They understood that resistance is not the enemy of discipline. It is the training ground. Every time you act despite resistance, you grow stronger. Every time you choose your commitment over your comfort, you deepen the pathway. The obstacle is not blocking your path. The obstacle is the path. There was a monk who wanted to build the discipline of daily meditation. For the first week, it felt easy. His mind was calm. He felt peaceful. Then, everything changed. His mind became wild. Sitting still felt impossible. Every morning, his mind gave him reasons to skip. He was too busy. He had too many responsibilities. He could meditate later. These thoughts were not real obstacles. They were tests. His mind testing his commitment. He recognized this and made a choice. He sat on his cushion every morning, even if just for 1 minute. Some days his mind was chaos. That was fine. The discipline was in sitting, not in having a perfect meditation. Some days he felt nothing at all. That was fine too. He was training something deeper than meditation. He was training his ability to keep a commitment regardless of conditions. After 30 days, the resistance had not disappeared, but it no longer controlled him. He had become someone who sits. Here is how you build unshakable discipline in 30 days. Choose one area of your life where you want to build discipline. Just one. This might be exercise, creative work, learning a skill, any practice that matters to you. Do not try to transform everything at once. The samurai mastered one technique at a time. You will do the same. Week 1 is about establishing the minimum viable action. Choose the smallest possible version of your discipline that you can do every single day without fail. This is critical. Most people choose an action that is too large. They promise to exercise for 30 minutes when they should promise to put on their workout clothes. They promise to write 500 words when they should promise to open the document. They promise to meditate for 20 minutes when they should promise to sit down and take 3 breaths. Make your actions so small you cannot fail. So easy that even on your worst day, you can do it. This is not about results. This is about building the pathway. Do this every single day for 7 days. Your only goal is consistency. Nothing else matters. If you can do more, that is fine. But never require yourself to do more than the minimum. The minimum is sacred. That is the promise you keep no matter what. Week 2 is about maintaining the minimum while allowing natural expansion. Continue. your minimum action every day. But now, if you feel moved to do more, you can. If you put on your workout clothes and feel like walking, do it. If you open your document and feel like writing, do it. If you sit down and feel like meditating longer, do it. But never require it. The minimum remains your anchor. Some days you will do the minimum and nothing more. Other days you will naturally do much more. Both are victories. Week 3 introduces tracking without judgment. Get a calendar. Each day you complete your minimum action, mark it. Do not track anything else. Do not measure how long or how well. Only track whether you showed up. This visual record becomes powerful. You will see a chain of days. The chain creates momentum. You will not want to break it. But if you miss a day, here is what you do. You mark that day honestly. You do not lie. You do not pretend. You acknowledge it and return the next day. One missed day does not erase everything. It does not mean you failed. It means you are human. The practice of tracking without judgment teaches you self-compassion while maintaining accountability. Week 4 is about solidifying identity. By now, you have shown up for 21 or more days. You are no longer trying to become disciplined. You are demonstrating through action that you already are. This week, before your daily action, pause. Say to yourself either out loud or silently, I am someone who keeps my commitments. Then, do your action. This affirmation combined with consistent action rewrites your self-concept. You are not hoping to become disciplined someday. You are recognizing the discipline you have already built. After 30 days, something shifts. Takeshi discovered this. After 30 days of sitting up in bed, his body did it automatically. He no longer needed to think about it. But more importantly, his relationship with himself had transformed. For the first time in 3 years, when he made a promise to himself, he believed it. This trust spread into every area of his life. He started keeping promises to other people because he had learned to keep promises to himself. He started completing difficult projects because he had proven he could persist. The discipline he built in one area flowed into everything else. This is what people do not expect. After 30 days of keeping a tiny commitment, you feel capable of keeping larger ones. The discipline you built spreads. You start to trust yourself in a way you never have before. This is not motivation that fades. This is transformation through evidence. Here is how you begin. 1. Choose one single area where you want to build discipline. Write it down. 2. Define the absolute smallest action you can take. Make it so small it seems silly. 3. Commit to this minimum action every day for 30 days, even if it takes only 30 seconds. 4. Create a simple way to track each day. Be honest when you miss. 5. Practice Shoshin each morning. Approach the day fresh, regardless of yesterday. Remember this: discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. The samurai did not become masters because they never failed. They became masters because they returned to practice every single day. You do not need to transform overnight. You need to show up in the smallest way, over and over, until showing up becomes who you are. Takeshi thought he was weak. He thought he lacked something other people had. He was wrong. He did not lack discipline. He lacked a method that worked with his nature instead of against it. When he found that method, everything changed. Not because he became someone different, but because he discovered who he already was underneath all the broken promises. Someone who could be trusted. Someone who kept their word. Someone disciplined. If you are ready to build real discipline that lasts, write in the comments, I commit to my daily practice. Thank you for watching and for choosing the path of continuous improvement.